What's up, guys? Matthew getting ready to watch Season 3, Episode 3 of Mr. Robot, the most amazing, spectacular, wonderful, splendicular show that I'm currently watching. As you guys know, I love the show so much. Through what? How many episodes have I watched? What? 25? I think? It's already probably top 5 show I've ever watched. And I know that it gets even crazier. Is there time travel? Is there parallel universes? Is there this? Is there that? Is it a red herring? What's going on? I have so many theories. I just went hop straight into it. You guys know I'm going to yappity yap at the end of the episode. So I want to hop straight into it. If you guys do like the video, please drop a like, leave a comment. It really helps me out. I have got the full-length reactions up on Patreon. I'm already very far ahead over on my Patreon. If you check the YouTube comments, it'll see the exact episode that I'm currently on. I may even be done the show already by now. So go check that out. If you like the content that I make for the channel, I would really appreciate if you subscribed. And other than that, I am ready to hop into this amazing show. Let's go. I've got a lot of stuff to talk about. I've got a lot of stuff. Obviously, that was a phenomenal episode, as is every fucking episode of Mr. Robot. You guys already know. I'm gonna bounce around here a lot. I'll eventually talk about Tyrell, and I will eventually. I might have missed his name in the first episode. I'm gonna call him Irving because he's a fucking used car salesman, which is phenomenal. He's a fucking snake piece of shit, lying, manipulative, perfect for the Dark Army. You know what I mean? I fucking love him already. I love him. But I'll talk specifically about him in a second. I want to discuss. The reason I'm starting off with this is because this is some wild shit that I'm about to talk about. I'm going like full tinfoil hat conspiracy mode. I really do want to say this. And like I said, I'll get into Tyrell, and I want to just say that episode was phenomenal. It sort of weaved all of the minor mysteries of the first 2 seasons together, specifically relating around Tyrell, and I really enjoyed that. But real quick, I want to talk about White Rose for a minute and some time travel stuff. First of all, I want to repeat. I said it in the middle of the episode, and I stopped because I didn't want to, talk over Zhang or White Rose or whatever. I got so much stuff that I want to talk about. The interrogation scene in connection to Angela as well. His love. I got so much stuff to fucking talk about, dude. I want to talk about White Rose. I feel like I've neglected talking about White Rose a little bit because, like, I'm having a hard time fathom the fucking possibilities here. I want to start off with this. Again, I keep talking about what is actually White Rose's motive? You know what I mean? What is actually the end game? Because the reason I say this is because I feel like it's been not straightforward. I feel like it's pretty obvious that, like, there's time travel. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, my question with that is, and with that machine thing and that fucking weird time machine fucking nuclear particle accelerator flash thingy, whatever you want to fucking call it, it obviously feels like that's the project. My question is, are we building a time machine? Like if I'm taking it straightforward, it kind of feels like he wants to create a time machine. But my question that I really need to start thinking about, and I have some, I'm going to talk about it. If we are actually going down the route of time travel or parallel universes, then the time travel would have already happened. If you understand what I mean. The time travel has to already fucking be a thing because it's time travel and it's, you know what I mean? The creator of the show, I trust, would have every little fucking detail planned out. So there has to be some sort of sign and all that. And again, like, the only futuristic thing that I can even fucking recall or remember about the entire fucking story is, I think that they mentioned Back to the Future a lot. Or, at least a couple times, enough for me to remember them saying something about Back to the Future. So But anyway, going back to what I'm saying, with White Rose again, like I said, I still have some reservations about whether or not that's the actual plan, whether or not that's a red herring. I don't know. Okay, so that's why I'm saying, like, at face value, White Rose is trying to build a time machine. Okay, to go back and change something. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like from Angela's perspective, like I understand what she would want the time machine for. I don't know what White Rose would want the time machine for. So anyway, my question, the thing that I need to discuss here, is this. Again, I'll repeat: if we are actually, if this show doesn't go down the time travel route, I'm gonna waste 20 minutes of your guys' fucking time. I'll be honest, but if we're actually doing time travel, I'll repeat, the time travel has to have already happened. Something had to have gone back in time. Okay? Like a loop, like some sort of loop or some sort of hint that the time travel has already happened. I would have to think that it is Elliot related, correct? I would also have to think if there's a it's I feel like in all time travel media, there's always that one specific moment that's always gone back to. Like this is the moment. This is the moment. And I would have to think the moment in the past that moment would have to be is the window scene. Whatever the fuck happens at the window scene. Like I talked about the window scene a decent amount the last couple episodes, but again, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. I think that his father was very fucking abusive. And Elliot has, you know what I mean, chopped it away. Whether or not Mr. Robot is the one who took it away, which makes sense for what he did with the prison shit, or a third version of him, you know, whatever that may be. But my, because this is the part that's confused me. If I'm to believe, if I'm currently believing that his father was actually abusive, why would Mr. Robot be the one to push Elliot out the window? Or is it this? Because he's fucking. It's confusing to talk about because whatever Mr. Robot does is technically what Elliot does, but it's also in the form of his father. So is it just his deepest, darkest thoughts? You know what I mean? Pushing himself out the window, but from the eyes of his abusive father? I don't know. I do not know. I will find out. But again, I want to repeat. If we're time traveling back to a certain moment, it would have to be that. Okay? I can't believe I'm gonna fucking say this shit. My question is, if I'm gonna repeat, I think that there has to be a third personality. I think that I am the third personality. Okay, I think that the viewer is supposed to be built up as a third personality that's being locked away. What if that personality is the time-traveled consciousness of Elliot in the future? And Elliot's plan, his sort of master plan, is to go back to that moment of the abuse, lock away his future sight. What the fuck am I talking about? He's locked away his future sight of the future, and it's only going to sort of awaken at a certain moment for him to win. You know what I mean? Because again, I want to repeat this. I really want to repeat this. And I've been saying to the last couple episodes, I would have to believe that Elliot is the top dog. He's the puppet master. He is, you know what I mean? He's the king, so to speak. I believe in his abilities at the end of the day over White Rose and over everyone else. I feel like he has control of the playing field. But I don't think that he knows that he does. You know what I mean? And another thing that I do want to talk about too, is just relating to Elliot. Mr. Robot keeps being built up as this, you know what I mean, like the mastermind, the this, the that, the person who's behind everything, the person who secretly. I really think that, again, either Elliot has 2 or 3 personalities. I think that Mr. Robot would be the weakest one. You know what I mean? I feel like the other one, again, I don't know if it's because Elliot. Either Elliot subconsciously is more powerful and has a stronger plan than he believes, or he's keeping his actual true plan away from me. So, I don't know, but again, going back to this time travel shit. Okay, I could see a world if we're actually going down the route of time travel. Okay, that Elliot has gone back in time and has a version of himself that knows the future. But for what? Like what? But so this is my next question too, and because I wanted to talk about White Rose and just talk like their what the fuck is their motive? Like, what do they want to change? What do they want to do? Like, that's the part that I'm like, obviously for good reason. I don't know about. Again, I don't know how fucking crazy this show is gonna get. I don't know if it's gonna be like some fucking reverse Flash situation where Zhang is trapped in the future or something stupid. Not stupid as in like a if that happened I would hate it. Just stupid as in like a that's wild from my perspective and from where I'm currently at in the story. So what would be the purpose? And again, I want to repeat, what would Elliot's purpose be? What would we change? Like from Angela's perspective, what the fuck are we gonna change? Are we like, oh, we can undo everything that Evil Corp did. What do we just make it so that they're not an evil corporation? Another evil corporation will rise up. Are we going to change the fucking fundamental constitution of the, like we're gonna get rid of capitalism? Like what the fuck are we doing here? Are we gonna does Zhang want to go back in time so that China can take over the entire world? No, right? Like it's not that simple. Another thing that I want to talk about, and in regards to that, again, I'm throwing out a lot of weird ass theories, and something that like, again, this is a show that like I already know that I've missed Sosa so much. This is a show, and it's in my favorite genre of show, like an Attack on Titan, a show that blatantly tells you spoilers for the future, just slightly out of context, so you don't understand what it meant. So when you rewatch a show, you go, "There's no way that they just said that." There's no way that they just said that. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting. So, like, just for instance, the season premiere, when they randomly walk past someone talking about different parallel universes, that immediately, perked my ears up and went, "What are we talking about?" Angela is talking about Elliot as him becoming a different person. Is he actually becoming a different person? And I got goosebumps thinking about this because this could be fucking wild. Is Mr. Robot actually Elliot's father? Is there some weird sort of stream of consciousness time travel parallel universe where his father has actually gone into Elliot's head? I'm so sorry if I'm fucking stupid here, but this is just fucking crazy, dude. Like that. This show is like, I love this. Like, again, I'll repeat, my favorite show of all time is Attack on Titan. Lost is my second favorite. This, at bare minimum, is my third favorite show of all time. Okay? And as someone who's watched Lost 6 fucking times, I can already see that there's a possibility that Mr. Robot can pass. Can it pass Attack on Titan? I don't know about that. It definitely could. It definitely fucking could. I've got to see the ending. Because I've heard that the ending to Mr. Robot is the greatest of all time. And Attack on Titan for me is a perfect show and has a 9.5 out of 10 ending. So there could potentially be room for a Mr. Robot to surpass that. So Mr. Robot could, depending on the way they fucking go. I mean, like, no matter what, it's top 3, like I said. I think it already is my third favorite show of all time. I don't know. Is there anything else that different person? I think that's all that I want to talk about with that. Like I said, as we get drip fed information on time travel and shit like that, and White Rose and plans and shit like that, I will obviously, you know what I mean, come to some other conclusions. But I think for now, that's gonna be it. I'll talk about Tyrell. I want to talk about that interrogation scene because obviously I would have to parallel it with with Angela because that's the only other Dark Army interrogation I've seen. My question is, first of all, again, obviously the way that they got Tyrell to work for him is because he is obsessed and in love with Elliot and will follow everything that Elliot does. I'll talk about that in a minute, the love to aspect. I have that written down. But that wasn't like a White Rose interrogation. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't like a privy to the real plan, privy to the truth. But but it felt very similar in the way that the questions were answered. Because like Tyrell doesn't know the extent of the possibility of fucking time travel and parallel universes. He doesn't know that. He's just working on, you know, hacking. He's doing some hacking shit, and following Mr. Robot's lead. So, but the similarities to the scene were very interesting, with very personal questions about some stuff about childhood too, and it kind of felt like, if I'm wrong, correct me, but it kind of feels like, again, we're talking about time travel here. Time travel is obviously connected to your younger self. I feel like the Dark Army put Angela and Tyrell in scenarios that would remind them of their childhood to heighten their hatred and their true feelings and their true emotions, to see if they can actually use them. If that makes any sense. I feel like, you know what I mean? I felt like with a, you know, a fatherly figure to whom, you know, Tyrell hates, and you know, lumberjack cutting shit like his childhood, and whereas Angela felt very modernistic, suburban. Fishes. I don't. I don't know. I do not know. Fuck. I can't. No, I have so much stuff to talk about, and I forgot something. I hope I get back on track. I hope I remember it was something about Tyrell. Oh, his father. And the sort of parallel. So he didn't want to become his father. Elliot would not want to become his father, subconsciously, because he's, you know what I mean. I feel like Elliot has become his father, but he cut out the abuse aspect of it, so he's subconsciously gone back into it. Or you can just count him being Mr. Robot as that. I think Mr. Robot is an exact fucking carbon copy of his father, and he has just taken on that fucking personality. So he has done exactly what, you know what I mean, the parallel to Tyrell. He has become his father. Yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about that. I mean, I don't really know anything off the top of my head that I can think about that, but that's definitely the case. He's become his father. Maybe literally, if we're going back to my fucking different person parallel universe. I don't know, dude. Like, that's another thing too. Like time travel. Like, how does the time travel? If there's actually time travel in this, how does that work? Do we like take the physical body? Like, if Elliot were to time travel, do we take Elliot's physical body and add it on? So that there, like, is it, again, if they reference Back to the Future, I would assume that there'd have to be some sort of Back to the Future, like, you know what I mean, time travel rules. So in that case, and it's funny, I just watched. I didn't realize. I'm gonna be honest. I like Back to the Future Part 2. I really did. It's not really my type of movie. It's like more like a fun thing, and I watched it on the channel, obviously. Just recently for the first time. I feel like if I knew that Back to the Future Part 2, because I feel like it has a whole bunch of meanings and parallels and symbolisms and stuff like that connected to this show, I feel like if I knew that, I would have watched it intently and taken notes on it if I knew that it was going to be this important. But, you know, my question, if it's Back to the Future, you know, type time travel, it would literally physically take a new Elliot and throw it into the new timeline, and then create a parallel. We're talking about parallel universes here. Or what are we going to change? We're going to change the window scene, or we're going to change something with E-Corp and split it off, so that what happens? What's the, again, because I want to repeat, getting rid of Evil Corp just would make a new Evil Corp somewhere. Would it now would it be a situation where, no, I was gonna say, like, where White Rose wants to build Evil Corp up from the ground up so that he can be in charge, but he's powerful enough that he can just fucking take that if he wants. I would think. So I don't know. I do not know. Let me talk about Tyrell here for a minute. This motherfucker is actually genuinely in love with Mr. Robot. Like, they even, like, the subtext. They threw that shit down. Wow. So, but he does care about his kid. And I thought he cared about Joanna. And again, like, I'll always repeat it, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. No, I'm saying this 100%. I'm pissed off that Joanna is dead. I am. I'm very pissed off because I love Joanna. But the thing with good writing and a good TV show, it's okay to kill off characters. I'm fine if you kill off characters as long as the story that fills it in is perfectly fine. You know what I mean? So, like, I think of certain stuff, like something, not obviously, something like a Game of Thrones kills off characters a whole bunch, and it's good for the first half of the show, and the books are amazing. But something like that, like, yeah, it kills off some of your favorite fucking characters, but it adds to the story. So I'm perfectly fine. Again, even if I'm pissed off, I'm perfectly fine if Joanna gets killed off, because it feels like, again, obviously this fucking love from Tyrell is growing. What are we gonna add, a fucking love triangle situation? No, we're probably not gonna have that with Joanna and fucking, you know what I mean? So we get rid of Joanna, we take that pawn off the board. Again, even though I loved her and I loved her manipulative, slimy motherfucking plans and shit like that, I would say it's a little odd. And again, not a complaint, just as I need to see how things unfold. Joanna had so much screen time last season to just immediately mop her out to give it all to Tyrell. Obviously, Tyrell is a much more important character than Joanna. I'm not mistaking that, but I don't know. I did really like her. But yeah, but so like I'm saying, obviously he's going to learn about this shit and it's going to throw him off the deep end. But my question is, what does he love more? Does he love Joanna more, or does he fucking love Elliot more? Like, what's going on there? What is going on there? What is that? And again, I want to repeat, I don't think that obviously with that sort of weird look there, that, you know what I mean, that sort of. And honestly, I'm going to be honest, that smirk at the end by Mr. Robot knows that Tyrell is worshiping him. I think he's going to use that to his advantage. Whether or not he initiates a relationship, I don't know, but it's definitely going to be something like stringing him along. But that weird sort of pessimistic, I don't know how to read that, like that weird look that Tyrell gave Elliot at the end. I don't know if he's second guessing his love, because again, Angela told him the truth. But I want to repeat, he doesn't love Elliot. He loves Mr. Robot. He worships Mr. Robot. My question then is, and again, just sort of doing parallels to certain, I would assume then that means that I'm going to have a character portray the role of someone who loves Elliot and doesn't love, or, loves Elliot, not Mr. Robot. I would have originally said something like Angela, but Angela is off the fucking deep end crazy. But drinking the Kool-Aid, glugging it down, so I would not know who that would be as of right now. I don't know. Again, that's not something I need. Maybe Krista? Maybe, but even then I don't know. Krista seems like sort of tie into both. Who's going to, again, and I'm already, if there is a third personality, and whether or not it's a time-traveled fucking consciousness of... I feel like I'm talking about A Song of Ice and Fire again. For those of you who don't know, A Song of Ice and Fire, the book series that was Game of Thrones is based off of. It's not complete. It's been incomplete for 15 fucking years because the author is dragging his goddamn feet, the motherfucker, doing random shit. But the community has become so obsessed with these, with no new content, that the theories are absolute balls to the fucking walls, like Tyrek is a horse and shit like that, like random shit. I feel like I'm already into that territory, and I'm it's still ongoing. Like, I still have more. So, I don't know. I do not know. Yeah. The final thing I'll talk about, whom I absolutely fucking loved this episode, I'm gonna call him Irving. Again, I would feel really stupid if I missed his name, because that definitely does happen, don't get me wrong. I don't know if I was talking over it or whatever. I don't know if I got his name, but I'm gonna call him Irving, because of the Irving's auto sales thing. I fucking love him. Like, the first episode, I was like, yeah, he's got swagger, he's got charisma. This episode, like, and again, look what they did to Joanna, one of my top 2 favorite characters, top 3. I don't think I've ever watched a show that has this many characters that I fucking love. But Irving has already entered that fucking conversation for me, because he is a slimy, manipulative piece of shit. Again, I would assume if we're gonna get some focus on him. Again, that's my question. He seems very high up in the totem pole of this organization. Does he actually believe in White Rose's time travel bullshit, or is he doing things on his own? Is he a double agent? Because that's another thing too. His little speech about going down, or manipulating people, getting saying stuff that makes them more comfortable with you, stuff that, just like he did with Tyrell and the family shit. Has he done that with White Rose? Is he actually some FBI agent, or I don't know, a loyalist to Elliot or something like that, who is you know what I mean, just undercover there, because I don't know, because it feels like he's gonna have a major role. I mean, I don't think that they would give him, essentially. This was a 70% Tyrell, 30% Irving episode. We got a lot of Irving scenes. I don't necessarily know that they would do that for just a random ass capable henchman. There would have to be more to him, like a Dom. In the sense of, like, I understand the role FBI agent, but we're getting personal information on her, so that makes me think that she's going to play a much bigger role. Like, it could be just a situation where the FBI obviously needs, you know what I mean, a protagonist, because they're hunting down the bad guys, so we need just someone we care about. But I don't know. Also, Santiago, I knew that motherfucker. I didn't know it immediately. It took me like fucking 5 episodes of him continuously doing suspicious shit and shutting down Dom. But I think near the end of the season, I picked up on it, of last season. But yeah. Anyway, I really liked Irving. I loved that fucking the story to Tyrell and the hard cut to him calling out his own bullshit. I really liked that. I didn't read. Maybe I should go back and read that. Is that something I should do? I know, like, channels like Blind Wave, they go back and like rewatch scenes of interest at the end of, like, during their discussion. I might start doing that if there's something that I really need to pick up on. Like, I probably should have done that with the Lynchian scene in 211. I don't know. That might be something I'm interested in. Anyway, real quick, let me just think. Time travel, and I'm gonna. I'm thinking about time travel here. Is there any other characters that, like, you know what I mean? Like, if time travel's a thing, Elliot is the only person who I think would actually, you know what I mean? Because he's the main character. You know, like, we're not gonna have Angela go fucking, like, time travel just by herself or something. Like, we're not. White Rose is a very good antagonist, but and a good parallel to Elliot, but at the same time, we're not just gonna have a fucking, okay, White Rose is time traveling now. You know what I mean? Like Elliot would have to be involved in it, or has already been involved in it. And again, I want to repeat, I know absolutely zero spoilers about the show. I have just heard for years and years and years that season 4 of this fucking show was the craziest, best, most amazingest season of TV in history. So, like, a reveal that Elliot has a time traveled consciousness buried deep within him would be like levels of, like, what the fuck are you talking about? So, oh, man, I think that's gonna be it for. I think that's gonna be it for me. I'm glad to see Leon there for a little bit. We still gotta learn about Trenton and Mobley, and again, I'll repeat my sentiment that I said at the end of season 2. If you put a gun to my head and it didn't jam, and I had to predict, I would assume that Mobley is dead, Trenton is alive, because she wasn't on the board, and she's would be a pawn that could easily. She would be like a knight on the chessboard. She could, bounce around a little sooner. Actually, one more thing I want to talk about time travel. Just that I'm thinking about. Not even time travel. Just thinking about that gun jamming. It was Darlene's gun, and Darlene got it from some random motherfucker. So, I mean, unless Darlene's fucking time traveling here. But, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like the gun, again, you could argue whether it was an act of God or a random coincidence. But I kind of also want to believe that someone purposefully jammed it. If that's something you can do, I don't really know. I'm not good with guns. But that's a possibility I got to think about if I see any more gay subtext. I don't know. I'll figure it out. I do want to talk about one more thing, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, just with Tyrell, because again, I want to repeat, like, I thought he really loved his wife, and I'm not saying like it's been proven that he doesn't, because you can love two people. Sadly, not sadly, some people can love two people. It kind of feels off that. Again, obviously, it's on purpose. There's been scenes that I don't know, like stuff is happening in the background. From my perspective, where I'm at now, Elliot and Tyrell met one day at I forget. Goddamn, I forgot fucking Gideon's business. Wow, that's crazy. I'm sorry, man. What was it called? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's been so goddamn long since season 1. The place where he originally worked. They met there one time. Then they met in that room scene where Tyrell saw him do some shit with the folder. Then they met in the bathroom with that when then they had that thing with the you know what I mean that place. And then the next time we see him is Tyrell talking to Mr. Robot. And I know that Mr. Robot awakened 1 month before the beginning of the show, if I recall correctly, because Mr. Robot awakens when he gets closer to Darlene, and Angela was talking about how Darlene came back 1 month ago. I'm pretty sure I got that timeline correctly. So that's 1 month of Mr. Robot planning that I don't know about. I could definitely see a world in which Mr. Robot had already pre-contacted Tyrell. And Elliot obviously doesn't know, so that first meeting is a new meeting for him, but it wouldn't be a new meeting for Tyrell. My question, though, with that is, well, okay, maybe Tyrell and Mr. Robot had already been working together, but it wasn't until that car scene in which Tyrell actually started to begin looking at him like a god, because he doesn't talk to Joanna about looking up and looking at gods until that conversation happens. So he wasn't worshiping Mr. Robot before that. That car scene is what the first time that he really verbally said anything like that. I don't know. I'm throwing out everything now. You got, like, I feel like I've been talking for like 30 minutes. I'm doing this from now on. Like, I feel like me talking about every single fucking thing is helping me a little bit. Because, again, I don't know if I'm getting any predictions correct, but I feel like I'm just talking about it, and if I talk about it out loud, I have a better chance at predicting it. Hurrah! That's going to be it for me, I think. I will see you guys next week. If you guys liked the video, please drop a like, leave a comment. It really helps me out. I've got the full-length reactions up on Patreon. And if you enjoy the content that I make for the channel, I would really appreciate if you subscribe. You guys have a good one.